The following is a special presentation of the First Horizon Green Sports Zone. This is the Pizza Inn Brad Woolsey Show. Welcome back to First Horizon's Green Sports Zone, and welcome back to this week's edition of the Pizza Inn Brad Woolsey Show, where we cover everything on the court with the Greeneville Green Devils basketball team. We'll recap last week's game with Granger and this past Tuesday's game with Volunteer, and we'll look ahead and preview the next trio of games with Cherokee, Maryville, and Science Hill. But first, as always, we need to get a quick break in first. We'll be right back after this commercial break here on First Horizon's Green Sports Zone. The Pizza Inn Brad Woolsey Show is brought to you by Gateway Ford Nissan, Tommy's Plumbing, Pizza Inn, and by First Horizon Bank.
Here's a twist on your typical banking options. What if instead of choosing between a big bank or a small bank, you had one bank that's the best of both? That's First Horizon. Big bank muscle with small bank hustle. Big bank convenience and small bank connection. When the best of big meets the best of small, you get it all. To help you on the road to your horizon. First Horizon Bank.
Welcome back to First Horizon's Green Sports Zone, and welcome back to this week's edition of the Pizza Inn Brad Woolsey Show, where we cover everything on the court inside of Howe Henry Gymnasium with the Greeneville Green Devils basketball team. As always, I'm joined here with head coach Brad Woolsey. Coach, how's it going this evening?
I'm good, Tyler. How are you?
Good. Glad to be here. Glad the snow's not trapped us in yet.
Yeah, we're as of right now, we're still pretty good shape. You know, everybody says it's going to get bad, but you can't trust what people say, though, I guess. And you know, every time I think there's going to be something big, it usually is not. So we're kind of pulling for that, to be honest.
I guess we won't know until it's here.
Right.
That's always the case.
Yeah, it's always the case. You don't ever know until the time comes. So we'll see this weekend.
Usually it's always backwards. Whenever they project a lot of snow, we don't get as much. Whenever they project a little bit of snow, we get a lot of snow. So
yeah. But this one, you know, you kind of, the pattern's kind of thrown off because you got prediction of like 12 feet, you know, 2 or 3 days ago, and then it gets down to 6 inches. So now, was this a prediction? Which prediction is the one that you kind of go off of? You know, is the 12 feet we're going to get nothing, or is it 6 inches? It's a lesser prediction. Are we going to get something? So, you know, this one has kind of thrown me in a quandary, and I don't really know, you know, I don't know what to believe in this one. I usually have a feel for it, but just the range has caused me problems this time.
Luckily, your game stayed the same so far. You're the only one that's remaining for Friday night. So if you watched any of the other shows, everybody's moved their games to Thursdays. Greeneville has not. They're staying with Friday against Cherokee, so that one's still on as scheduled. And then I guess we'll worry about Science Hill and Maryville later, because then once the snow if the snow does arrive on Saturday, we still don't know. You got to worry about those Monday and Tuesday games. But first and foremost, you got Cherokee coming up. We'll talk about that in the back half. But let's go through the previous pair of games. Let's rewind to Friday night. You go to Rutledge to play Granger. First district game, very raucous atmosphere and a very hyped up crowd. You get the job done and come from behind to win. How'd you get it done against the Grizzlies?
You know, we didn't start off very well. I think we ended up being down at one point, maybe 5, like 20 to 15, and so there were just some looks that we gave up early that should not have been given up, and there are things that we had we've been talking about that we have given up, and so you know, that was not good. I didn't feel like we were very good in our man-to-man early on, and so we decided to change it up and pick up the tempo some. We went to a 3-quarter court 1-2-2, and really kind of caused them some problems. We're able to turn them over, you know, with the athleticism that some of our guys have. You know, it really helped change the game and kind of get our energy flowing in the right direction. You know, the thing is that that's not really going to be who we are in terms of we shouldn't need to do something to get energy going. It should be our energy's going because we have an opportunity to play, and so, you know, we're still going to be a solid man-to-man team. That's what we're going to do, but we're definitely looking to mix some other stuff in, and that was Coach Hale's idea, the 1-2-2, and it paid dividends that night, and really flipped the game around and got our intensity a little bit higher.
Speaking of getting your intensity a little bit higher too, third quarter right there, some things happen in the stands, and then that fires your team up. You get a lot more support from the crowd. The bench gets a little louder too. How much did the energy shift there in the third quarter?
Yeah, it did. We were defensively, we weren't bad in the third quarter there early, but it was offensively we were missing shots and it just wasn't going down, and so we were kind of laboring there, and then we had some fans thrown out, and that's, and I don't know what was said. I don't know I did not hear anything. But we want our fans to be loud, but we want to do things the right way too, and not cross a line. And again, I don't know what was said, but or what was heard. Sometimes those two things can be different. But nonetheless, we always want to make sure that we're loud and we're getting after it, but we want to be respectful of people as well. But it got our energy up, and I think we ended up going on a 16-2 run after that.
I believe you're right.
It got the fans fired up, and like that section of boys where they were sitting, they
turned into the girls' team.
Yeah, I know, it turned into the girls' team, and Tammy Shelton. I think Tammy Shelton, one of the girls' moms, also felt the call. And she responded to the call to come down there and I think sit with the girls to try and get that student section going again. And after that, it was just a live, raucous event for a while. But overall, our guys really kept composure, and that's I think I said it on Friday night. Emotion and fire is really great, but it's got to be contained, and it's got to be channeled in the appropriate manner. When emotions get out of, where they shouldn't be, then, it causes damage. But if you can keep them channeled in the right direction, really good things happen. And I felt like that game, our guys, for the most part, really channeled some emotion into producing positive things and kind of kept their head in it.
One thing about interviews is you never know who's watching interviews. I always wonder what other coaches might be watching interviews, what other fans might be watching interviews. And whenever I posted last week's interview very early before the Granger game, I had it in my mind, well, I wonder if Granger's coaches will see this beforehand. Well, I was right, because we talked about the popcorn and mustard last week that Cherokee provided me with at the concession stand. And lo and behold, Coach Wolfenbarger at Granger brings me a bag of popcorn and mustard before the game. So, I haven't changed my opinion. Still not a fan of popcorn dipped in mustard, but a good Granger popcorn review. I'll go 8 out of 10. Did you try it the other night?
I did not, because I think I went pizza. I did not eat, and no, I went nachos. I'll take that back. I went nachos, chili, and jalapenos. And like I said in the interview, if you go nachos, chili, jalapeno, you don't want to go popcorn,
right?
Because it creates a kind of a, it affects your constitution and your. You
got a war going on down there.
Exactly. You don't want that going on, so you kind of got to keep it, it's got to make the right decision pregame. And so try to do that. But they had texted me about the popcorn on my way, or before I even left, I think. And we're just, talking about our comments. And again, that's just a good example of what, this stuff can be. You go to war with people, but you've also got good relationships with them, and and so that's always just a great thing. And I figured the review wouldn't be great on that. Of course,
the popcorn was good though.
Could be mustard, and I don't know what kind of mustard was used, but you might try a different type of mustard.
It may be.
Could make a difference.
Hey, the popcorn was good though. Shout out to Coach Wolfenbarger. I love a good snack at a ball game. Fast forward, I guess it's fast forward, but we're still rewinding back to Tuesday night when you open up your district play at home with Volunteer. And man, as Mark said it in the postgame interview, a true back and forth game that had to be decided in overtime. Just fell a little bit short, 72-70 against the Falcons. Take me through Tuesday night's action.
Yeah, that wasn't a game where I felt like we got behind early. It was really, like you said, back and forth throughout. And when you look at the pattern of the game, I think early 22 got easy, or not 22, number 11 got easy looks, and I think he had 9 maybe in the first quarter. And after that, we were able to kind of slow him down a little bit, just limit his looks is ultimately what we were able to do. And Willie came in and did a great job on him there for most of the game. Was really physical with him and like in the right way, playing great position, having consistent effort, really did a great job with that. And then the guys on the backside, because if he's doing his job, like it's all going to fall apart if the guys on the backside aren't doing it, whether that be Parker, Braylon, Taryn, Zai, whoever it was, that stuff's really important. And so we were able to limit them inside some. And our biggest issue, it's frustrating to, I'm sure, the kids and to us as coaches, something that you try to work on consistently when it's something that ends up, I think, in the end causing you to get beat, and that was the 3-point shot. And we tend to not give up 3-point shots in the half court. That's just, we're decent at limiting half court 3-pointers, but I think they hit 9 3-pointers, and I think 6 or 7 of them were transition 3-pointers where we didn't communicate and didn't have urgency in getting to 3-point shooters. And so that's kind of a frustrating part. And then, of course, the free throw line, I think we went 12 for 20, and I think they were 15 for 19. And so missing free throws also played a role in that. But in terms of our guys competing, and this has kind of been a common theme all year, regardless of score, and it wouldn't be whether we were, up 20 something at the Arby's or we were at the Classic, or if we were down, 20 somewhere else. The kids have just continued to compete, and so the way that they competed Friday night is to be commended, and I appreciate that. And they represent our community well by doing that. But in the end, Volunteer made plays 23. He really took over in the fourth quarter. I think he had 12 points, 2 3-pointers, but we went back and just clipped up the game a little bit and went over some of these points that gave us trouble. And, we always just say the margin between winning and losing is really tight. So that margin is really tight. And so all the little things that you do are going to make a big difference. And, we just went over some of the little things that we could do to try to get better. And then at the end of the game, and that doesn't just go for players, but that goes for coaches as well, because, like I told the kids this yesterday, there were some things down the stretch that were my responsibility, and I didn't do a very good job with it. And so, it's also a situation not just where players go back and say, hey, what do I need to do? It's me as a coach. I got to go back and say, I got to be better in this situation. And but the kids competed, the kids fought, and came back to practice yesterday and got after it. So
this wasn't a point I was going to make during the interview, but I want to ask a question about it. Mark mentioned it. You had a district winning streak dating back to, I think, 2019, and it snapped on Tuesday night. Do you feel less pressure now that streak has been broken now? Because I know that's something that a lot of people are probably talking about. Greeneville's not lost a district game since this. This could be the year. And now that the streak is over, do you feel less pressure now having that streak off of your back?
I mean, I'll be honest. I never really, unless somebody says something about
paid attention.
It doesn't matter to me. Now, that's not to say that I don't appreciate all the wins that so many guys have worked hard for. I mean, there's a real big appreciation. But in terms of, was that ever on my mind, and did that ever create any pressure for us or the guys? No, unless they've seen it for somewhere else, or I've never mentioned that to them, and it's never been anything that I shouldn't say I don't care, because I do care, but at the same time, it's
not on your mind during the game.
Yeah. Or even even after the game, it's just not that losing I don't like, but the streak, it's not really something that's at the forefront of my mind or something that I spend any time thinking about.
Well, now you've got the opportunity to make a new streak now.
Right.
You got Cherokee up ahead now. Still on Friday. That game's not changed again. Right. So still on Friday night. We'll go ahead and preview that right after the break, though. So stick with us, and we'll talk about that and the other 2 games after that here on First Horizon's Green Sports Zone.
Here's a twist on your typical banking options. What if instead of choosing between a big bank or a small bank, you had one bank that's the best of both? That's First Horizon. Big bank muscle with small bank hustle. Big bank convenience and small bank connection. When the best of big meets the best of small, you get it all. To help you on the road to your horizon. First Horizon Bank.
Pizza Inn presents I Ate at Pizza Inn. I ate pizza at Pizza Inn. I ate a salad at Pizza Inn.
I ate pizza!
I ate it all.
Hi, I'm Kyle, and I'm inviting you to come and enjoy Greeneville's favorite hometown pizza, pasta, salad, and dessert buffet for just $8 all day, Monday through Friday. And then you can say,
"We all ate at Pizza Inn."
Tommy's Plumbing has been in business for 30 years, and we're still growing because we treat our customers like family. We are proud to do any job from kitchen faucet installation to a complete home repipe. Tommy's Plumbing offers warranties on most products installed by our technicians. When the job is done, our friendly professionals make sure to clean up. We invite you to visit our new showroom in Jonesboro to see our quality products for yourself. Tommy's is the only one to call when you need a fast, reliable, professional plumber in the Tri-Cities.
At many dealerships, you get what you'd expect. Games, gimmicks, and shady sales tactics. At Gateway Nissan in Greeneville, expect the unexpected. Low prices, convenient service, and a great buying experience.
Get our Gateway exclusive lifetime powertrain warranty.
No worries for life.
You deserve the unexpected. It's the #1 reason you gotta get to Gateway.
Shop online at GatewayNissanGreeneville.com.
Or take the super short drive down Highway 11E to Gateway Nissan in Greeneville.
Welcome back to First Horizon's Green Sports Zone, and welcome back to this week's edition of the Pizza and Brad Woolsey Show, where we cover everything on the court with the Greeneville Green Devils basketball team. As always, I'm joined here with head coach Brad Woolsey. Hey, we didn't mention it at the beginning, but Pizza Inn, once again, Monday through Friday, buffets, $8, all you can eat. Pasta, salad, pizza, anything you want, go down there. If you've got the opportunity tomorrow night after the game with Cherokee, again, it's still on for Friday night. You can go by Pizza Inn and get something to eat before or after the game. Again, you can get about any type of pizza you want. I mean, cheeseburger, taco, baked potato, chicken.
Make requests, I think, can please get this. So they're great in terms of giving you what you want and giving you plenty of it. So
that's true.
Yeah.
I got a little extra dessert over there since the last time I'd been.
Oh, really?
I went this past Saturday, and it was the first time I'd been in a long time, and I thought it felt like they had a little bit more out there for desserts.
I felt like the desserts have always been pretty stacked over there. It's, you got the cherry stuff, chocolate chip, you got the cinnamon, and you got the vanilla, whatever there. I mean, there's a lot of good options.
The cherry was what I saw. Maybe I didn't see the cherry before. Maybe that's what it is. But I think they're catering to everybody's sweet tooth a little bit more.
Yeah.
If you got the opportunity to go Friday, though, of course, the Green Devils host Cherokee at Howe Henry Gymnasium. Let's talk about that a little bit. 2 games through the district season, almost halfway through after we get the game over with tomorrow night as the Chiefs come down to Greeneville and visit you all. What do you expect whenever you play Cherokee tomorrow?
Cherokee's a much improved team over last year, and so when you look at why or how they've improved, it's 2 things. One is just the guys that they had from last year are better this year. Just got several pieces. Most everybody can shoot the 3. Most everybody can put the ball on the floor and drive it. And then they also added a kid this year, had a transfer that I think's leading them in scoring this year. I think originally a Rogersville kid anyway, anyway, he's a good shooter, good player. They've got shooters all over the place. They're going to play hard defensively, going to kind of mix it up, I think, from a defensive perspective. A much improved team from last year. Like to get out and run, do a great job in the open court. So it'll be a good matchup for us tomorrow night.
It's crazy to say. Well, not crazy to say in a sense, because your district season started a little bit later, but with less teams, you play less amount of games. So here we are. It seemed like it took forever to finally get into the district season. Now after tomorrow night, you'll be halfway done.
Right, yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, and in a span of a week, you get halfway through, but it's just the way it is with 4 classifications and the way our conference shook down. We'd like to have another team or two. It'd be nice, but it is what it is. And so yeah, we go through 1 week from Friday to Friday, and we're done with we're finished half of our conference slate. You know, we're kind of off conference-wise next week, and then it's 1 week, and we're done with the conference slate. So it'll all be over in a matter of 2 weeks in terms of our conference play.
We'll talk about the standings and everything next week, kind of when we're halfway through, because next week you don't have any conference games. But we know at the moment Volunteer at 1 at 2-0, and then Greeneville behind that right there at 1-1. Looking at the games past that too, hopefully we get these games in. Of course, as the theme has been all week with the weather coming in, we don't know what to expect. Are we going to get 6 inches of snow? Are we going to get none? Is it just going to be a bunch of rain that turns into ice? We don't know. So Monday and Tuesday's game with Maryville and Science Hill still up in the air at this point, but they're two teams that you have already played, of course, trying to exact revenge. I guess not really revenge, but avenge those losses from before. So what are you going to do differently this time against Maryville and Science Hill?
You know, in terms of what we do different, I don't know. I haven't really looked ahead a whole lot to them, but just kind of thinking off the cuff here, really I don't know that we will do a lot different. We'll just try to be better at what we do. You know, we played in Maryville early. You know, we were probably maybe a week and a half, 2 weeks into having our guys back, and so we really hadn't spent a lot of time together, and so hopefully we'll be ready to go this week. I feel like over the last couple weeks we've improved our post defense, and so that'll be big. And I was telling the guys yesterday in practice, I feel like we've been getting better in spots, but then like as soon as we get better in one spot, we kind of take a step back in another. And so just in terms of guarding the ball, I feel like we've kind of taken a step back, and that's been an emphasis as of yesterday, and it'll be an emphasis today, just in practice, that we got to get back to guarding the ball better, and that'll just be a huge key against Maryville, because they've got good perimeter guys that drive it and shoot it, and then they've got really good inside play as well. So you know, we got to make sure we take care of those things. And then, you know, Science Hill, like they've been banged up a little bit from time to time, so I'm really going to have to look at the film again on them, because when we played them, they were missing, I think, one guy that was supposed to be back, and so they may look a little bit different than what we initially saw. I know they've had a couple of good wins, I think, of late, a good conference win against Westridge, so I think they're playing better right now. But you know, we're hoping we'll get those games in this week, but who knows? Yeah,
who knows? And that's why I figured we'd lightly touch them, because at this point we don't know. I mean, we don't know. We don't even know what type of weather we're going to get. Is it a wintry mix, rain, snow? We're not completely sure, but one thing we are sure of, Greenville's game tomorrow night with Cherokee is still on. It will not be on Thursday. It will stay on Friday. So if you got the opportunity, come out and watch the Green Devils tomorrow night when they play Cherokee at home. Girls at 6:30, boys at 8. And if you'd like to, go before or after the Pizza Inn. $8 buffet Monday through Friday. And hey, even if you go on Saturday, it's only $2 more. So hey, $10 on the weekends too. You can't beat that to sit down and eat for $10 or less with a buffet in front of you, especially as good as the buffet is at Pizza Inn. But Coach, unless there's anything else you've got to add, that's all I got for you this week.
Good. Thanks, Tyler.
All right, no problem. Thank you once again. Thank you all for watching this week's edition of the Pizza Inn Brad Woolsey Show. We look forward to seeing you next time here on First Horizons Green Sports Zone.